So starting this off, we got a casual business meeting. Now you can wear what I'm wearing right here, go with that Maverick blazer with a white shirt. I personally believe that contrast creates a little bit more of a formal look. And again, the pocket square I didn't even have to think of. Now keep the trousers simple. You can go gray or even with a pair of chinos. For the shoes, I'd go with the simple pair of loafers. And for the watch, I'd go with the simple dress watch. For my fragrance, I'd keep it simple, maybe go with a mix of lavender and veteran. Now what if I'm giving a big presentation? I need to dress it up. In this case, let's go with the classic suit. So if you're a man over the age of 25, I recommend navy blue. If you're under the age of 25, go with charcoal gray. It's going to make you look a little bit older. In any case, we're going with a crisp white dress shirt with that dark red, maybe maroon silk power tie. My dress shoes, I'm going to keep them simple. Either go with a dark brown or a black Oxford. Definitely, I'm going to recommend a simple dress watch with a leather band that matches the color of my shoes and belt. And my fragrance here, I'm going to keep it subtle. I'm going to go with something that's got a nice, simple wood undertone. Next up, we've got summer casual. For this outfit, I see you wearing a short sleeve white polo shirt matched with light gray slim fit linen trousers, white leather sneakers, your hair on point, wearing a pair of shades, maybe Wayfarers or Aviators. For a watch, maybe a stainless steel chronograph, and top it all off with a clean, crisp citrus fragrance. Next up, I'm in Chicago for the weekend, going out with friends on a Saturday night. What am I going to wear? First up, a simple, clean, true blue button down. Now, if worn by itself, it may have looked like a dress shirt, but I'm going to match this with a casual olive jacket that's thin, definitely going for something a little bit more casual, and pair that with a straight fit dark denim, and then laced up boots in a dark brown that aren't too dressy, yet aren't too casual. Just right for going out with friends for dinner and maybe something afterwards. Now, the watch here, I'm going to have a little bit of fun, maybe go for a gold undertone or maybe even a rose gold. And for the fragrance, something that's going to catch a little bit of attention, something spicy with a little bit of pepper, maybe an oriental. Now, I talked about I'm wearing a button-down collar. There's a wide variety of shirt collars out there. The two most common are going to be the spread collar, and by far the most common is the point collar. Point collars are actually made to be worn with a necktie. That's when they look most complete. So if you're going to be, not really wearing a necktie, I would recommend going with a spread collar or a button-down collar. Now, the button-down collar, this came out of the polo field. It's been around for over 100 years. The company Brooks Brothers are the ones that made this popular. I think it looks great on a classic Oxford shirt. Now, the Oxford shirt gets its name from Oxford fabric. And in case you're not familiar with fabric terminology, Oxford fabrics are a basic basket weaves. Now, what makes the Oxford fabric unique is that they sometimes mix in multiple colors. They don't have to, and then go all white, but sometimes you see with that white, they'll mix in a bit of blue, they'll mix in a bit of red, and this gives a two-tone appearance. On top of that, depending on the fineness of the yarn and the tightness of the weave, we can get various types of Oxford fabric, from plain Oxford to pinpoint Oxford to the most expensive and formal and hardest to weave, Royal Oxford. Now, at this point, you may be wondering, Antonio, why do these details matter and why is this an old money essential? Well, the answer is because nowadays people don't associate the shirt necessarily with the fabric, they associate it with a particular style. That is the button-down collar. Next up, let's talk about the polo shirt. I'm not talking about those cheap ones that you can find for 10, 15, 20 bucks. I'm talking about higher end polos. The beautiful thing about the polo, especially for an old money wardrobe, is how it can work with a number of the trousers. You can dress down a suit by wearing it with, a polo. You can actually dress up just a regular pair of trousers or shorts by pairing them with the polo. You're also going to see the polos are going to start to bend. And, I talked about going with a lot of neutral colors. And yes, you're going to see tons of white polos, dark navy polos in the colors, very similar to the suits. But you're also going to see polos in a variety of brighter colors, of colors that, just simply pop a bit more. And this is where I think in an old money wardrobe, you can really have fun with color and still find ways to mix and match it with the other items in your wardrobe. Let's talk about Oxfords, in particular, Balmoral Oxfords. Some people just call them Balmorals, other people call them Oxfords. I'm going to use both of them. Right here, we've got a cap toe, so it makes it a little bit more casual. But right here, we've got what's known as a closed lacing system. A closed lacing system is when the back part of the shoe, the quarter, actually goes under the front part of the shoe, known as the vamp. Now, this shoe right here in black is going to be a classic dress shoe. If I were to wear this with a dark colored suit, a white shirt, and dark colored necktie, right there, that's going to be a classic business suit combination. Next up, let's talk about the Blucher. The big difference here is these are going to be more casual because of their open lacing system. So the back quarter of the shoe actually goes on top of the vamp. This style has always been considered to be more casual. You can also tell this is a more casual shoe because of the color. You're going to see Bluchers in a variety of lighter colors, although you will still see Oxfords in lighter colors, but I think that lighter colored dress shoes in general are going to be more casual, and the design also signals that this is more casual. So I could wear this with a light colored suit, maybe if I'm just wearing a polo with it or a dress shirt, deciding to opt not to wear the necktie. Now, another classic shoe for old money is going to be the Brogue. Now, the Brogue, as you can tell right here, is because of all the design. And you're going to see Brogues both in open and closed lacing systems. This one actually has a closed lacing system, so a little bit dressier. And there are all types of Brogues out there. You're going to see quarter Brogues, you're going to see semi-Brogues, full Brogues, and even long wing Brogues. Now, full Brogues are also known as wingtip Brogues, and that's actually the style that I've got right here. The holes used to go all the way through. Nowadays, they do not. They're for straight up decoration. But right here, as you can see on the toe, we've also got a medallion. Again, it's just a design. It does make them a little bit harder to polish, but I really like the look of it, and it gives a bit of a more casual feel. And let's not forget loafers. Now, really quick, let's define what a penny loafer is and what it isn't. Now, as you can see from the infographic here, the penny loafer, aka the Venetian style loafer, is easily recognizable by its lack of ornamentation. Specifically, it's a mid-heel slipper with an upper part that is slightly open to the kick of the foot and the ankle bone. Venetian loafers are slip-on shoes with no laces with a moccasin-style toe construction. Another key characteristic, and where traditionally some men would put a penny, is the slotted strap stitched across the vamp. In its simplest form, it's a slip-on loafer with a tongue and strap only. Now, when you compare Venetian-style loafers to other styles of loafers, such as horsebit loafers, tassel loafers, Belgian loafers, monk straps, which I know are technically not loafers, but they are slip-ons, and even boat shoes, which have the moccasin design but are using laces, you can see that Venetian style, aka penny loafers, are so much cleaner, simpler, and in my opinion, versatile. Now, if you're looking to level up your style, you really need to check out my free community over on School. I've set this community up so we've got free classes that you can make your way through step by step and learn the basic foundations of men's style. We actually have giveaways. In fact, over the last year, I've given away over $25,000 in gear that has accumulated here in my office, and I love sending it out to you guys free of charge. And I have to say, the men that are in this group are friggin' awesome. We've got a no a-hole policy. People treat each other with respect. And what we've managed to create in this community is a place where a man can come in and ask questions and get some solid advice. So gents, use the link in the description of today's video. Go check out our free communities on School. All right, gents, so now let's talk about brands. Old money versus quiet luxury. And some of you guys may disagree with the way I classify some of these brands. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. But let's see how many of these you can guess, you can get right. If you get all of them right, let me know, reach out to me, or let me know in the comments and brag about it. First up is Issey Miyake. Has anyone ever heard of this brand? Are you familiar with it? If you know Japanese style, you've heard of it. If you know fragrances, you've heard of this brand. I am going to put this brand in quiet luxury. Here's why. For me, Issey Miyake is about lines. It's about clean silhouettes. It's also not afraid to put a bit of technology into its products, its clothing, and for that reason, I view this as quiet luxury, and their prices can be very high. Next up, we've got Tom Ford. Now, where are you going to put this one? I think a lot of you guys know quiet luxury. And Tom Ford, again, you look at the name of some of his fragrances. If you look at some of the designs, you may not feel that super quiet, but overall, he uses really good quality ingredients, quality fabrics. His designs, I think, they just ooze sexuality. It's definitely modern, but they're clean and classic. I got to put Tom Ford in quiet luxury. Next up, we got Brooks Brothers. All right. That one was easy, right? Come on. This is going to be definitely old school Americana. This is America's classic tailoring company. They're the ones that pushed the sack suit and they preppy clothing. Tons of people used to go for this, especially over on the East Coast. This is definitely old money style. Next up, we've got Gucci. Now, this one is tough. I mean, if you know Gucci, they've got modern, fashionable pieces that are anything but quiet. On the other hand, are they timeless? I think that they definitely have a lot of timeless lines. They've got some classic pieces. If you're Italian and, there are just certain things like the tassel bit loafer right there. I got to put it, I'm going to go with old school money. Yeah. Disagree? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, because of just certain pieces that they pioneered, I got to go old money. Next up, we got Brunello Cucinelli. Anyone familiar with this brand? I'll bring up a few images right here. Definitely, they're going to be cutting edge, very clean lines. But if you look at their prices for what you're getting, I mean, yeah, it's almost sticker shock for a lot of people. This is definitely going to be a quiet luxury brand. Now, what about the common projects? A lot of you guys know their sneakers. Very minimalist, very simple. What do you think? Is this going to be old money? No, it's not old money. This is going to be quiet luxury right there. Let's bring up another American company. We've got Allen Edmonds. So I personally love shopping at Allen Edmonds. Whenever I'm in an airport, they usually have some pretty good airport shops. And they've got started off, I think, shoes were their primary thing, but they've moved to a variety of different products out there. But what do you guys think? Allen Edmonds, where we're going to put them? Wisconsin brand. Yeah, they're going to be old money and great shoes. If you've never checked out Allen Edmonds, they've been around forever. And speaking of shoes, let's talk about Chini. Have any of you guys heard of this company? I remember I was over in London, picked up a pair, really liked them. I could also bring in Churches. Both of these companies, where were they going to fit? Okay, you're right. Old money, both of these brands. And if you feel those brands are cheap, you want to go higher upstream, definitely check out Crockett and Jones. I don't think Chini or Churches are cheap brands, but if you really want to spend the money, Crockett and Jones, and they are going to be old money, in my opinion. Let's get some casual clothing in here. Rag and Bone. Well, if you're selling casual clothing, but even, James Bond wears some of this stuff here, definitely not old money. Come on, this one was easy. So quiet luxury right here, Rag and Bone. Now, this next one is going to be a surprise for some of you guys, Arc'teryx. I like their clothing, but let's just say, especially the Arc'teryx, everyone ever shopped in one of those stores? This stuff is not cheap. You can get, I think, very functional clothing. It's a fraction of the cost here, but these right here, in my opinion, are definitely quiet luxury. Casual. Next up, Belstaff. This is a great British store. If you've never been in there, if you're walking through, and that probably gave it away. It seems like most British stores are going to be old money. So yes, Belstaff. And I know I could have put Barber right here, but that one would have been way too easy, right, guys? Come on. Barber, definitely old money.